So yesterday we were discussing about how do we separate the special characters, alphabets and numerics from the given string. Okay. So there I showed you like one of the example is like that we can directly take the string and we can use a character class and we can check with the method which is available here is alphabetic. So if this is alphabetic, then I'm going to append this values to the string that I have created here. Okay. So likewise, we have numerics and special characters. Okay. So after that, I'm going to just print this values. We saw that how exactly it works. So you can see the output here. I'm going to run it. Okay. So there is another approach we can use with the help of like regular expressions. So I've written this program here. So here you can see just we are using a method called replace all, and this is like characters. Okay. So what are characters? A to Z, capital letters, A to Z, small letters, and 0 to 9. So this is kind of like a regular expressions we are going to give. Okay. So apart from this, okay. So apart from this, whatever it is there, you should keep it as it is, and whatever characters that we have specified here within the regular expression should be made as like empty. That's nothing, but it's going to just make it as like null, kind of like it's an empty string, and rest of the things will be printed here. Okay, special characters. So we have some notations here. Don't worry about it. I will discuss about these things in the regular expressions. How does it exactly works? Okay. So this is like not symbol that generally we say. So apart from this, whatever characters that we have in the string, A to Z are in the special characters should be made as like empty. Okay. It is similar here. Apart from these characters, whatever alphabets, okay. So apart from these characters, whatever we have like 0 to 9 are special characters should be made empty. So when we execute this program, you see the same output here. Okay. So right click, run as Java application. Okay. Here you can see what we have talked about is like special characters, numerics, and alphabets. Okay. We have this is one other approach. Okay. So if somebody asks you in interview, you can let them know that we can do it in this way. Otherwise, we have another ways also. But whichever feasible way, which is like fastly, we are going to fetch the results, right? So that we can show it to them. Okay, likewise in reverse also. Yesterday, there's like one program we have written, right? One is like directly we have taken the character string. Here we are not taking the character string, but we are taking one character at a time from that string and we are trying to reverse it. Okay, so this is the logic that we have written here. So here we are using character, here we are using string. Okay. So today we are going to write a program to find out the duplicate elements in an array. Okay. So for example, in a string array. So duplicate strings, otherwise strings in a string array. Okay. Just give me a second, guys. Yes. Yeah, I'm back here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is like I'll write a main method. So here what I'm going to do is like I'll just write and take a string. Okay, string array. So str. If I say hello, I test. Okay. So what are the duplicate strings like which are repeated in the given array? So that I need to find out how many times this particular word is repeated. This particular word array sequence of characters, that is string repeated within the given array. Okay. So I want to find out. Can you tell me what is the like? At least can you try what is the logic that we can apply on it? So we already discussed about arrays, right? So let's go to this. As I told you, like first we have to take the notepad and try to frame the logic. So I got an array here. This is the array. Now tell me what logic I can apply. At least tell me how many for loops we need.
Two.
Okay, so 2 for loops we need. That is like first for loop would be picking up one value at a time from the
Array.
string, right? Yeah. So what is the logic here I have to apply? Int I is equals to 0, I is less than string dot I plus plus. Okay. So after this, what I have to do here?
We have to compare that value with another value.
Yes. So for that, what I'm going to do? Like already we have taken this 0, right? So hello cannot be compared with hello again. So what we have to do here? You have to take I plus. Yes. So j is less than str dot length.
J plus plus.
So j plus plus. Now tell me the logic what I can write here. Simple logic, right? So again, we have to compare this value with this value. To compare this, what we have to write?
If I equals to
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yes. Str of j. Then what we do? Here we are going to calculate. Here we are going to count it. Okay. So we'll increment the count. Okay. Because like again, if we are taking this particular string and we are trying to compare with this SSN, count becomes something like, if it is finding this string again here in this array again, okay, at some other position, then the count would be incremented. Okay. If I go and take this one, the count would need to be made as like 0. Otherwise, what happens now? The whatever count we have got for this hello will repeat. Like, it will keep on incrementing for the rest of the values, right? So for this, what we have to do? What we have to do here is like, here we need to
count.
That count is equals to 0. That's it. And after that, so what we are going to do is like, we are going to print the values, right? So here we have checked it and we want to count it. Okay. So let's write the program for this. So now tell me, var int I equal to 0. I plus plus. Okay. So here, as we discussed, okay, let's write the logic. I plus 1. Okay. Simple logic is like if str of I. So here we are comparing this, right? Str of j. I'm taking count here. So if this is repeated somewhere, I'm going to increment that. So here we are initializing the count because we want to make it as like 0 whenever we take the another element or another string for the comparison with the rest of the strings. So I'm taking count is equals to 0 here. So we got the count here. So here I'm going to verify it. Okay. So if count is greater than 0, and what we are going to do is like here we say that repeated so here I'm going to give str. I'll take array. Okay, so now we are going to execute this program. We have written that program and trying to call this program. say hello repeated 2 times, hello repeated 1 time, and test repeated 1 times. Okay, but here you see that the hello first time we have just try to compare this value with the elements which are available here, right? So hello is compared with hi, it's not there, it's not matching. Here it is matching, it increments its count. Here it is matching, it increments its count. But what happens is like whenever we go to this element, again we have the hello. So what it does, like it will go and compare this one. So to avoid this here, what I'm going to do is like after counting it, I'm just making that particular element to match with something. Okay, I'll put something as like red. I'm just replacing that value here. Okay, and str of j is not equals to red. Okay, so j is like it is within this for loop, so we cannot get this, but we cannot get the scope of this j, right? So I'm going to take I. Hello repeated twice and test repeated 1 time. Okay, so but hi is like hi is not repeated anytime, but test is repeated 1 time. Okay, so this is how we'll be finding out that what are the duplicate elements that we have. Are you clear with this, guys? So it's very simple, right? First loop is like we are going to take one string at a time in the string array and try to compare with this. Okay, so first for loop it will take this one and it's going to check for the condition j is less than whatever we have, like string dot length. So it will take this value, it will compare with this, and if anything is repeated, it will increment its count. Okay, so if anything is like repeated again, I'm just making it as like something else. You can put like sort dollar or something. Okay, so just to differentiate from the words that we have inside this. Okay, so better you can take dollar. So I'm just putting a condition here. Count is written as 0 and the string whatever we have is not equals to dollar. Then you can go and print the values of it. Like how many times the character, that particular character sequence is repeated. Okay, so this is how we'll be finding the duplicate elements. Are you clear with this, guys?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so this is very simple. So generally they are going to ask you in the interviews. So how do we exactly find the duplicates? Okay, number of duplicates in an array. Okay, so there is another thing, another way of finding it, finding the duplicates. So directly you can use like if you have anything kind of, we can use maps for that. So in collections we are going to discuss about it. Okay, so we'll take the maps, and in that maps we are going to increment the count of this particular. So when we say maps, so we have like key and value pair. Okay, so that we'll discuss when we are discussing about like maps. Okay, so the another thing is like there's another important methods that we have is like, I just want to add it here. I'm just creating str is equals to hello. Okay, str1 is equals to hello. Okay, so this is another method. If str1 dot compare to str1, this is nothing but what is this? This is like we are trying to compare something. Okay, it will return your Boolean variable. So how do we exactly do is like, let me take Boolean. Okay. Yeah, sorry. So what it does is like if this value is greater than, when we use this compare, so will deeply discuss about this. Okay, compare to how this compare to exactly works. Okay. So it says like compares two strings lexicographically. Lexicographically in the sense it will take each and every word. Okay, so each and every word between these two strings. Okay, so if I'm talking about like hello and hello, H is capital letter and L is and this another H is like It's a small letter. Let me just go back here. What it does is like it will compare this with this. Okay, it will compare this with this. So which one is greater here? So when we talk about ASCII values, let's go and print some ASCII values. Okay. So how do we print the ASCII values? Print I is equals to, I'll start from okay. Care of I. Oh, sorry. I took. This is nothing but typecasting. Okay. So I'm trying to convert this integer value into a character. So I'll try to execute this. Now you see, so we have like from 65 to some range is like 96 or something. We have capital letters, and from something like 97 or not sure like what is that exactly number, but which one is greater now? So we have greatest values. These are the greatest values. So after this 96 or something, this comes after the 96 or something, okay, some values. But what is the current lexical ASCII value of this A is like, it could be 96, 97 or 95. But here it is like 65. When what happens is like, now you see H is lying here and H is lying here. So it will compare this value with this value. So which one is greater? So this one is greater, right? H is greater. So what it returns is like, it's going to return, if it is like greater, so we'll again go back to this and we try to understand what exactly it returns. Okay. See, here it says like the return value. If the argument string is equals to the string, it will return 0. Okay. The value less than a value less than if the string, it's like, at the code 0, it says like if the string is lexicographically less than the string argument and the value greater than, what it does is like, it's going to return you -1. Okay. So if it is less than, if whatever we are comparing, the string value that we are comparing, right? If it is less, it will return -1. If it is greater, it will return +1. Okay, positive value. If it is equals, it will return 0. Okay, so that is how it's going to compare. So internally what happens is like, it will take the values. So whatever values we are trying to compare, so that it's going to take that value and it will compare. Okay, so internally, lexicographically, what it does is like, it will compare the ASCII values. Okay, let's go and see what is the value of it. And I'm comparing this value. Okay. So let me just move this ASCII values. So compared to is like, it will compare lexicographical. -32. Okay. So whatever the range that we have, difference. Okay. It's like negative value. Okay. So I'm just talking about like -1 +1, because like if it is this value, like whatever we have, this value is compared to this value. It is returning the negative value because this value is the biggest one. It is showing the negative value. So if it is like, it is compared with str1, str1 is compared to str. Now you go and execute this. Now we are getting plus value because which one is bigger? This one is bigger. So this one, it's like kind of like each and every element, like each and every character it will take. Like for example, H, L, L. Tell me, this is H, L, L. Okay, so let's find out what is the here I need to comment this ASCII value of H and H. Okay. Yeah, observe carefully, guys. This will help you out to how do we exactly compare. Okay. See now what is that it's showing is like 32. Okay. So now we can easily find out the difference. Okay. So when you say this, execute this and see what is the output that we are getting. Minus 32, right? So this is like, this is the, see which one is biggest? This is biggest, 104, okay, and 76. So when we just try to compare this value, okay, which is one, like this one is compared to str1, then what is the value that I'll get? Minus 32. Got it, right? So likewise, it will take each and every character and it will try to compare lexicographically. Okay. So here itself, you can see there is, that it says like, you can see this character at this particular location index. Okay. So and another string dot character. So what it does is like, it's going to compare. So when it compares, what it does is like, it's going to compare one character at a time. Okay. So it will see the difference and it will show you the difference. Here, for example, if you say E, capital E. So what is that it is doing now? So because this is already compared, right? So we have some value which is compared and it is like, it's showing this value is like less than this value. So then it will ignore this rest of the values and it will show this is like the smallest and this one is like biggest. Okay. So if I say here H, now we can see the difference. First one becomes 0 and now you see again we have E is like only the characters we are changing, right? If I say T here, let's see what happens. We can see the other value. Okay. So E value is like minus this value. So in this case, minus 15. So still which one is greater? This one is greater. Okay. So likewise, what it does is like, it will take one character and it will try to compare this one character at a time. If it is equal, then it will move to the next character. If it is less than, it will stop there itself and it will return the value. Okay. So it will return the integer value. So here we can simply write if B is greater than 0. So which one is like now we are comparing the first value with the second one. Let me just put E here and I'm going to run it again. So here we are getting minus 32. Okay. So here I'm putting some condition. Else if B is less than 0. So finally we have one thing is like, here str, here str1 and finally equals. Okay. So equal here instead of str1, just I'm putting that str is less than. So it is greater than, right? Greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, if this one is like greater, when we compare this value with this value, if it returns greater than 0, then this one would be the greater. Otherwise, this one would be the greater. So here str1 is greater than str. I'll take the same thing here. Then str. Okay. So let's go and try to execute this and see what is that. So internally it does this operations. Okay. So here it should be str. Here it should be str1. This is reverse. Okay. So hello is less than hello. Because this value, whatever we have, H value is 76 and this is like 104. Okay. When we minus this, what happens is like, it's going to return the minus value. Okay. So we apply the same logic here, guys. Okay. We apply the same logic and based on this logic that we are going to swap the values and okay, swap the values and we are going to sort the values. Okay. Sort the values in the strings. Okay. We use the same comparator function, but there's a little slight difference in the logic. Okay. So how do we write that logic is like, now we see sorting strings in an array. Okay. So guys, these are all interview questions that we are talking. Okay. I think you're not missing anything out of the context. Okay. Please pay attention for this. Now you have to tell me the logic. We have already written the logic and how we got this. How do we exactly compare the values and how do we exactly sort them? I mean, just to understand like what is the values that we are going to get as part of compared to action. Okay. So sorting string. So here I'll take out this again. Let me take some values like Zimbabwe, London, and then we have some country names. Okay, I'm just taking some countries or cities names. So then, yeah. So alphabetically, it should show me that. Okay. So Germany. Let us take like Australia, and after that we have Canada. Okay. So these are the countries. What is the sorting order I should get? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Okay. L, M, N. I, O, P, Q or something. After that, it should come like, first it should come, it should show Australia, then it should show Berlin, then Germany, then India, then London. Okay, then Australia, after Australia, we have like, after Berlin, we have Canada, right? C is the capital, C is the letter that we have. So what is the output that we should get here is like Australia, Berlin, Canada, then Germany, then India, L, M, O, P, Q, I, R, S, T. Okay, so first it will come London. Then after India, then after I should get Zimbabwe. Okay. So likewise, this is the output that I should get. Okay. So when I give this, so it should sort it. So what is that part? What is that we need to do now? So when we want to compare the values, then what are the logics that we apply? Absolutely right. Okay. So first I'm going to take the value and I'll like compare with that value. Okay. I is less than str.length. Okay. So length I plus plus. So after this, what I'm going to do now? I'll take another for loop. So I will not compare the same value. So I'm going to take I plus 1. So j less than str dot length. Okay. So after this, j plus plus. So now you tell me what is the logic that we can apply. See, we have discussed this, right? Now you should be spontaneous, guys. See, this is what we have to apply, right? String 1 we got, string we got, string 1 we got. Then what is it? What is that we have to apply here? This is the logic, right? So this is the logic we have to apply. How do we write it now? So we'll write it in a simple if condition. We take if condition, and if whatever the value that we are getting as part of I dot compare to what is that? str of j. Okay. So if this value is like greater than 0. Okay. So this is what, right? So if this is greater than this one, then what we have to do? We have to swap it. To swap, what we need to do? So we have to take a temp variable, right? Somewhere you can define this temp variable. String temp is equals to some value. So it's very simple. But here you swap the values. So str, first you are going to store temp value in stri. Then after that, str value will be stored in
J.
I will be strj. Right. Then after str.
J is equal to
temp. That's it, guys. So that's it. So only this is like when we say that greater than 0, it's not less than. If it is greater than 0, then we swap it. If it is less than, we don't do it. Okay. So ascending order. In descending order, if you want to do, it should be a less than 0. If it is equals to 0, it's kind of like it will only check for the value which is equals. Okay. So let's go and write this program here. I'll take the same string which is available here. Are you able to understand this, guys?
Yes, sir.
We are trying to swap it. These are very important interview questions, guys. Okay. So they are going to ask you, be careful about this because you should know how exactly the strings and arrays works. Okay. So if you are done with this thing, most of the things are like, programmatically you can like, you'll be through this interviews. So I+1. See, this is the reason why I told you to write the logic in this way. Okay. It will be easy for you to explain them. And other thing is like, you'll get the idea what we have to do here in this case. Okay. So just to frame the pseudo code. Okay. Don't write directly code on the editor because it will help you to see first. If you don't practice it in this way and you directly rely on the editors, so generally what happens is like it will help you to get the things. That is nothing but intelligence, what we say. Okay. So intelligence, see here I'm going to say that j less than str dot. See, it will show all these things. That's nothing but readily available methods it will show. But when you try to do this like pseudo code, framing the pseudo code, then easily understand what is the logic that we have to write and what is that we have to what is that exactly we are missing. Okay. So first you practice in the pseudo code, then you can directly write the logic here. Okay. So now it will be easy. If what is that we are trying to compare? Here is what compare str of j is greater than 0. Then we are going to use a temp variable. So temp variable is like I'm going to take temp equals to here I'm going to define a temp variable string temp. Okay, so temp is equal to str of I. Str of I is equals to str of j. So only simple thing is like that. Guys, the logic is like first you have to frame the logic, then you can directly go and write it. Okay, so it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, now you see. So this is done. So here I am trying to print the values. Okay, first directly I can print it. So how do I print it? So I'm using arrays dot string of str. I'm going to call it here. Okay, I'm going to call it here. This time creating the object for this class, and I'm going to call it array dot sort. Got it? Australia, Berlin, Canada, Germany, India, London, and Zimbabwe. Okay, you can put it them any order. It's not like you can put it any order. Here I'm putting London. Here I'm putting Germany. Okay. So here is the only thing that you can just change. Okay. So if you want to put them in a descending order. Okay. Zimbabwe, London, India, Germany, Canada, Berlin, and Australia. So now you change it to greater than. So it will show you in ascending order. Okay. So this is sorting in strings. So string sorting is little different from array sorting. Okay. Arrays we have integers. So if you have integers directly, what we do is like we remove this condition and we'll put greater than str. Only the compare is like it. What it does like it will compare and return the integer value. If integer value is greater than the value 0, then it will swap the value. If it is less than, it will not go and touch it. Okay. For example, now we have this Zimbabwe. Then what happens? You see. So this will be compared with this, and but here you can say it is sorting in a proper order. Okay. So it can be anything, guys. So other thing is like if you want to remove these duplicates. For example, we have these duplicates if you want to remove this. So how do we remove the duplicates? We are counting the duplicates here. Only the logic that we need to do is like what can we do here? So if you want to only remove the duplicates and have only the strings, like, unique strings within a string array.
Yeah, that if count is greater than 0 and values are equal.
Don't count it, just make it as like empty.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you can do is like, here this logic is not required. Just you are putting everything is like empty here. Okay. If both of them are equals, then what we do is like, we'll make it empty. See, after this, just simple change. Okay. One change that will fetch you the results. To string str. This. So what is happening here? You can see that we are in for loop. Okay, this one. But to remove this spaces, what we have to do? What can we do now? So instead of putting this arrays directly, just we can write a simple logic. Okay. So for what is that string? Yes, str. So in this condition, if s is not equals to, right, so equals to the object. That's nothing but we can put one condition here. That is nothing but not equals to. Okay. So operators that we are using. So we are using this operator and we are trying to print the values. So instead of this complete string, we give s and try to print it. Hello, hi, test. You got it right? So what we are trying to do is like, here we are putting one condition. If it is empty, okay. If it is empty, ignore it. That's nothing but it's not empty, then only print it. Okay. So what is the logic that we have written? It's very simple, right? We are not counting, but we are making, if it is repeated, then we are making it as a null. But while printing, we are just ignoring them and we are trying to print it. Okay. So it can be any number of times. Let's go and try to get only 3. So duplicates are removed. So within the same program. Okay. So what I will do is like, I'll try to copy this. And I'll put it here. I'll remove these things. You just name it as like remove duplicate. This is not required here, but here doing this. Yes, here we don't print it. Okay, so what we do here is like, one is like, it's going to print the number of duplicates, and another one is like, it is removing the duplicates. Okay. What it has done. So here, see, if condition, in this if condition, we are trying to print. So here you can see it is showing like high printed one time. So yeah, so there's like, it's printed 5 times and this repeated 1 time or any number of times. How many number of times it has repeated? 1 time. Okay. So high repeated 1 times. Again, it is showing that, okay, test repeated this many times. Okay. Somewhere it is like, it is printing multiple values here. So just you can ignore those. Okay. So how do we remove that? 7 times it is showing like repeated 7 times, repeated 7 times. Something somewhere in the copy paste I've just made a mistake. Plus times here, this is fine. Okay, so here we made empty, right? So here you can see I made empty. So that is the reason why it is showing. I'm just putting as like and because I removed that, right? So in the earlier program, I removed it. That is the reason why it was like counting those spaces also. So we have spaces here, right? So that space is also counted. So now you see, I just removed it and added this double and symbol. So now it is crisp, right? You can see hello repeated 5 times, hi repeated 1 times, and test repeated thrice. And after this, we have duplicates. So here you can see I'm adding this double and here you can add one more condition and s is not equals to w. That is also removed. Okay. So this is how we'll be finding the duplicates and removing the duplicates. Yes, removing the duplicates is quite simple. Just we are making this as like a null, and after that we are just putting this condition here. So we are using the same string. So that is the reason why it is showing up this. If we have this separate string defined in separate classes, then we don't have any issues. Separate methods. Okay. So here I'm defining it. So here I'm defining this condition is not required. Okay. So which condition? This condition is not required. So when I try to execute this, you can see the output. Okay. Similar output because here I'm replacing with double and. So if I replace this double and, if I use the same string which is defined at class level, that is accessible across the multiple methods. So that is the reason why we are getting that particular and double and symbol. Otherwise, what I can do is like you can use that and add one more condition here. And condition and the and should not be represented. Okay. So this is how we'll be finding the duplicates, removing the duplicates, and sorting the strings. Okay. So reversing we already looked into. Okay. So there is another important. This is kind of like an Amazon question that was asked. How do we count? Like how do we print the values? Okay. Print characters. Print characters based on numbers. Okay. The problem statement is very simple, guys. Here we have a string str is equals to A1, B2, C3, D4. Okay, so what is the output that I need to get is like A, B, number of times that character is shown, right? The preceding, the following one, okay? So the following one should be like, this is the following one. This is the following one. Okay, so the following character. What I need to do is like I need to print this particular character based on the number that has given. That is nothing but following number. Okay, so if C is given like C3 is given here. I need to print C 3 times. If D is given like D4. In this case, what I have to do is like I have to print it for 4 times. Okay, so likewise, we have to print the values. Okay, so the output should be like this is the output I should get. So for this, what I have to do now? Can you tell me the logic? So first to identify whether that is a number or a character, what is that I can do? We'll go back to the notepad again. So here we are going to write problem statement A1, B2, C3, and D4. To separate this, just split them into the character. What I have to do now? Character array?
Yes.
CR dot to char array. Right? So after this, what I have to do now? I have to write a for loop. Int I is equals to 0. I is less than cs dot length. And after that, I plus plus. Now, I need to check each and every character. Okay. So for this, we have already written a program, right? If character dot class dot is alphabet. If it is alphabet, okay, whatever the value that we are going to give, then we don't do anything here. Okay. So we don't do anything. So we'll just leave it. Okay. So we don't count on that alphabet. But in the else case, if this is a digit, then what I'm going to do here is like, I need to take this and I need to convert it. Okay. How do I convert it? So here I'm going to say int some value. Value is equals to, we have to use of wrapper class. Otherwise, we have an option in the character classes. Okay. So I'll tell you what are the methods that we have inside the character classes. Okay. For example, if I write this if character dot get numeric value. So this numeric value, what it is like, this is a character, right? So A is a character, but it is an alphabet. If it's not an alphabet, there is another, I assume that this is a numeric. So I'm going to take this one as like a numeric value. I'm going to get this numeric value. Okay. So what it returns is like, it's going to return the integer value. Okay. Returns int value here. That's specified character Unicode. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to use a method called character get numeric. Okay. So this method, I'm going to get it. So now I got the value, right? So after getting the value, what I need to do is like, it's very simple. Now we got the value. So here itself, what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to write the first int j is equals to 0. J is less than value. The number of times that I want to print, right? J plus plus. So in this for loop, I'm going to print. What is that I need to print now? System out ch of I value, I got it. Ch of I is like, this is I value. So what is that I need to print? This is the value that I need to print. Right? This is the character I need to print based on the value that I got. So here I'm going to put I minus 1. Okay. So simply it will put it and it will continue the loop until this particular value. That's nothing but this condition is failed. That is nothing but j is less than 2 or j is less than whatever the value that we have. So those many like in those many times it will do the iterations, it will come out of it. Okay. So I'm taking 0, 0 is less than 1. Yes. So what it does is like, it will print one time. Then 1 is less than 1, it will come out of it. Again, it will go into this for loop, second for. This is the first for loop. Okay. This is second for loop. First for loop will try to get the numeric values. Okay. And second for loop is like, it will try to print the number of times the character is like the following number of times the character is defined, right? So here it is defined one time. I need to print this A value as like one time. Okay. We'll write a program and let's see what is the output that we are going to get. So first, what is that I need to do? I need to convert this character. Okay. H of so static, I need to make it. Okay. I'll try to write it in a different method. Public print tabs. Two character array. Then here we use for looking 0 is less than length I plus 1. Okay, so here I'm going to use a condition. If character dot is, otherwise is digit, I'll take is digit. Okay, so if it is a digit, then I'm going to do this things. Is digit. What is that? Ch of I. Okay, so I got it. Now I got the digit. So here I'm going to take value. Value is equals to, what is that I need to use? Character dot get numeric value of ch of I. I got this after this. Int j is equals to 0, j is less than value j plus plus. Okay, so what is that I need to print here? I need to print ch of I minus 1. I just create an object here. Print is equals to dot. What is the method that I've created? Print characters. See, logic is quite simple. So here we need to print it in lines, right? So for that reason, in a single line. Okay. I just want to have the space after every character. I'm just giving a space here. So just go and see what is that output that we are expecting. We got it right. So this is one approach, guys. There's another approach also. We can just convert this value, whatever value that we are getting, we can convert this one as like a int value. Okay. So here also two characters. If you don't want to use it, you can directly use this string dot character it that particular location. Okay, so you can just take that string length and you can write it. Okay, if you want, write that one. Character print. This is one. Okay, it's all based on your approaches, guys. Whatever approach that you want to do, you can do it. Okay, so here I am removing it. What is that I can take? Str dot length. So what is the difference between length and length of? So length of will be like, for the strings, but length will be for the arrays. Okay, so string will have like this length of. So they can ask you in interviews like, what is the difference between length and length of? So this will be used for finding the length of the array, and this will be used for finding the length of the string. Okay, so this is the one difference that we. And here what we are trying to do is like length. Now I'm going to take what is that I'm going to take now? Character. Okay, so I'm removing this. I got the character. So here and after this character of, that's character of is like a method. Okay, so now you can go and try to see, we got this one is like first output, and this is like second output. Yes, don't fight for the logic. Okay, so thing is like just to think about the problem statement. How can we resolve it? So we have multiple approaches for this. This is not the only approach. Still, we have a lot of approaches. We can use collections, any of this. Okay, so a lot of things that we can do it. And here I spoke about like how do we use the general thing. Okay, so teacher dot. So these are the methods actually. So this is like kind of method wherein it will just convert this particular what we say is like string. Okay, so let me just take it as like string. String yes is equals to str dot character at I dot, if I say 2. So what is it saying is like change it to the character. Okay, so here we have a character here. So what I can do is like if I need to convert into the string, as I said, like you can use character cannot be casted. 1 second, guys. Okay, so now it is like this particular character is converted into string. As I discussed with you, like string, if you add anything to the string, it will become a string. Okay, so now this I'm going to take it. So if you want to convert into the into data type, what you have to do is like we have to use a wrapper class that is integer.parseInt of yes. Okay, so what it does is like it will take this particular string value and it's going to convert into the integer. Okay, so this wrapper classes, why do we use wrapper classes is like wrapper classes will convert this particular any object into the data type. Okay, primitive data types. Okay, there are two things. One is like we already discussed about wrapper classes here, right? So in simple programming to find out the length, what are the variables that we are using, and what are the different sizes of it. Okay, so here we looked into it, right? So let me just we have somewhere here. We have written somewhere here. I'm just searching for the trace bitwise operators or something. Yeah. Not this one. In basic program, we have discussed about it, right? So how do we exactly do this? Find the size of it and all. Yeah. So here you can see. So byte minimum, byte maximum, short, integer, long, float, double. So every data type, every primitive data type will have a wrapper class. Okay. So likewise, we have Boolean. For Boolean, we have Boolean. Character, we have character class. Okay. Byte, we have byte. Short and integer, long, float, double. Okay. Everything will have a wrapper class. What is the use of wrapper class is like it will convert that object. Object is nothing but it's kind of like a real-time entity wherein we convert that one into the variable type. That is like different data type. If you want to use that as like a data type, then we are going to use this wrapper classes. Okay. So which is that we are talking about. We'll go back to this character. Sorry, what is that? Printing character based on this. Okay. So now I'm converting this one into the string. After that, I'm taking it to the value. Okay. So it is similar thing here. Character class is helping us to get that numeric value. Okay. When I execute this program, you see there is no difference in it. Okay. What is that? The second approach is like I'm taking string directly. I'm using this character and I'm just taking that character and converting into the string. Then after I'm just converting that particular string into the value, and this value is considered here, and this is taken as like a condition in the for loop, and here I'm printing the previous value. You can give anything here. Okay, don't give 10 here. 10 is like it is exceeding the double values. Okay, so this is the problem statement, guys. Okay, so 5, 7, 9. A will print 4 times, B will be printed for 5 times, and C will be printed for 7 times, and D will be printed for 9 times. Okay, so likewise, it is similar solution for the problem statement with the second approach. Okay, so this is how we'll be working on the strings, guys. So probably I thought like today I can complete the strings, but strings are like very important because most of the questions will be asked in strings. Okay, so if you can practice all this, this is more than enough for you guys to understand. Okay, so how do we exactly compare the strings? How do we sort the strings? How do we extract the characters or whatever the characters that we have here, right? So like what is that? Yeah, special characters. How do you extract the characters from the string? So this is a kind of important thing. Okay, so now onwards, like we'll see a lot of things which are described as part of strings, and we'll see a lot of programs as part of strings also. I mean, down the line when we are discussing about like constructors, OOPS concepts, any other things in the OOPS, and how do we create this getter setter methods, and like in detail I'm going to discuss about it. Okay, so this is very important, and it's like you need to understand in and out of strings. Okay, how do we exactly work with the strings? Okay, so do you have any doubts, guys?
Shikha, no, I don't have doubts in string. Actually, I've just practiced on the NF number that I talked about previously. So, should I share my screen?
Yeah, sure, you can share. Yeah, you can share the.
Yeah, I'm sharing. Yeah, Shrikant, I've just.
Yeah, I got it.
However, I'm not able to run this program.
You kept the problem is like, can you just remove this I1, remove the 1 from I. Yeah, remove that everywhere. Here also J1. You have declared them, but you did not use anywhere, right? So that is the reason why it is throwing the error. Save the program. For loop, This is fine. So can you give me the control?
Yes.
Say this semicolon is like termination of that particular line. It will not enter into this. Okay. Now you
Okay.
execute. Is asking for the position. If I say 5, it should show you like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. 1 is the element that you are trying to find, the position 5 of the sort. Okay.
Got it.
Anything else?
No, Shrikant. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, let's meet tomorrow. I'll upload these programs today so that you can practice it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. Let's meet tomorrow. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, sir.